1.
In today's gospel, we hear the calling of Matthew, specifically from Matthew's gospel. Matthew was a tax collector, and in that time, he and many other tax collectors were regarded as sort of trash of society. They sort of betrayed the trust of their community, of the Jewish community, and were not loved in any regard. And so for Christ himself to call that man is a very important message. A way that we can see this very visibly is in Caravaggio's painting, The Calling of Matthew. I want to start at one point that our eyes are drawn to immediately, which is the hand of Christ. This hand is supposed to represent the hand of Adam in Michelangelo's image of creation. Right? Jesus' hand is pointing directly to Matthew, who's sitting here at the end of the table, right? Dressed nicely, but head down, right? Kind of in a position of shame, but Christ is still calling him out of that, right? Christ says to Matthew when he's in his tax collector stand, "Follow me." Matthew immediately gets up. The word that is used for get up in the Greek in the gospel is anastas. This word is the exact same word that is used to speak of Christ's resurrection. This is really important because it shows that the words that are being used to speak of a sinner's conversion to follow Christ are the same words that are being used when Christ enters into his full divinity in heaven as he's resurrected. An important thing to remember is that after Christ calls Matthew, they sort of go have this party. And Matthew's going to the party brings other tax collectors, other sinners declared by the community, the Jewish community at the time. And so Christ is at this party with all kinds of tax collectors, harlots, people that are just poor and needy and not represented well in the Jewish community. And so some Pharisees come walking by and they ask to the apostles, maybe even to Christ himself, "Why are you with these people? Why are you with them? They are trash of society. They are unworthy. Why does your master eat with them?" And Christ says, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." He tells the tax collectors, you don't know what God wants. This man, Matthew, who is a sinner, he knows more than you what he is being called to by God. St. John Chrysostom highlights this pretty well for us. He says that my not being with them would be unworthy of me and my love of man, and that to amend such persons is not only blameless, but excellent and necessary, and deserving of all sorts of praise. St. John Chrysostom understands Christ's mission, and his desire is mercy. He wants us to love our neighbor and to serve others. He does not want us to be sitting around and judging, you're a sinner and you're a sinner. He wants us to live out this mercy which he portrayed in his own priestly ministry. Right? Pope Francis writes in Dignitas Infinita that Jesus Christ was born and raised in humble conditions. He reveals the dignity and the needy of those who labor. And then, throughout his public ministry, he affirms the value and dignity of all who bear the image of God. All bear the image of God. Not some, not a particular few set aside. Everyone bears the image of God. For Jesus, the good done to every human being is the single criterion of judgment. Again, reiterating, love your neighbor. We are all called to holiness in some way. The sinner, the tax collector, the Pharisee, everyone is called to holiness. We all have to work with him, to be submissive, and allow him to work within us to get there. An example that is really important who really shows how to live this out is Blessed Solanus Casey. He was a Franciscan friar who was born in Wisconsin. He was the son of a farmer. He grew up similar to Christ's humble, needy beginnings. He entered into seminary and struggled a lot in his studies. A lot of it was taught in Latin and German, which he didn't understand. And so through that, he was ordained a simplex priest, which means he was unable to preach at Mass and he was unable to hear confessions. He came to Detroit after praying to the Blessed Mother who told him, I want you in Detroit. And so he went, and he ended up being the porter at St. Bonaventure's Catholic Church for 20 plus years. Through his time there, he helped co-found the Capuchin Soup Kitchen. He was a huge help to all in need. He was huge on intercessory prayer, ministering to those who very much needed help. All those who were ill, terminally ill. He was very huge into reminding that good works and love of a neighbor can change the world. 20,000 people attended his funeral when he died. He was a porter and a door holder at this church. Blessed Solanus Casey, life lives this example, shows this example. God made me human so that I can love him. Oh, what a blessed day it is. Let us all let this be our prayer every day of our life.